So our first question is, why did our school change to standard-based grading?
The whole school hasn't changed. Teachers have the option if they want to do that. The standard-based grading is kind of a new thing in education where you're graded on what you actually know instead of the points you're turning in. So I always use the example, you know, if you're sick and you go into a doctor,
Yeah.
which one would you rather have? The one that was on the old system where you got points for just turning stuff in, or do you want the doctor that was in standard-based grading and actually got graded on what they knew?
Okay.
So I would want the doctor that actually
Yeah.
knew the material and not just getting free points.
Okay. Next question is there evidence students are learning better with standard-based grading?
So our
Pros and cons.
D's and F's report last year,
Yes.
we had fewer D's, we had fewer F's, and we had more students passing than previous years.
Okay, that's good. And that's what literally all our questions for today's grading. And I have 2 questions for you today. Why do you think our school changed our grading to standard-based grading?
Well, I think that the district philosophy is they want the students to learn the material and be graded on what they know, not like doing a word find and getting 100%. That doesn't really show you what you know about a standard or content.
Yeah.
So that's why they also let teachers do retakes and power hours. So they want the students to learn the material and not necessarily get graded on busy work.
Okay. Another question is, what do you think are the pros and cons of standard-based grading?
Pros and cons is a lot of it is test grades, and some students like get really anxious or maybe don't do their best work when it's so high stakes. Like a test makes people nervous, and so if they don't do well on that, then that creates like, okay, I have to study, I have to do a retake, plus keep up with everything that's currently, because the teacher's going to go on and teach other things. So then it just becomes really time consuming for that student to keep studying, master the content, go back, retake. Or back in my day, my teacher was like, you do your geometry? Yep, here you go.
Yeah.
A, awesome. And that was, but I didn't learn geometry, so that was not good. But that was kind of, I was graded on my effort, not really what I knew.
Okay.
So, does that help?
Yes, that does. Thank you
Awesome.
very much.
So the bad part is that we can't give you extra credit, but the good part is that it kind of forces, I don't want to use the word force, it enables the student to learn that learning standard.
Okay. And another question is, do you like standard-based grading, or would you rather be on a regular-based grading?
I'm in the middle. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
It's new for me too.
Yeah.
I'm having at the end of the year I could have a definite answer for you.
Okay. We'll come back at the end of the year. Would you rather have a different grading system? Or is it the same for you?
I don't know. This is all new. I don't know. I'm very used to the old grading system.
Yeah, okay, so you're...
Yeah, so I'm thinking with this new grading system, we'll see what it's like at the end of the year. And if the students get the same grades that I think that they get on the old system, then I would probably go back to the old system.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I'm betwixt and between.
Standards-based grading is really great because students are only graded on what they know in the classroom.
Okay.
And so there are a lot of assignments and homework out there that doesn't accurately reflect what students are actually learning. And so standards-based is a great way to do that.
Okay. And the second question is, how do you feel about standard-based grading?
I think standards-based grading is great.
Do you think it's better than the regular-based grading? Like,
Yeah, I think it works well.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all we have to say. Okay, our topic is standard-based grading. There are 3 questions for us today. The first question is, why do you think our school changed to standard-based grading?
I think we changed to it because we really want to focus on the learning part of education as opposed to the small tasks. So we really wanted to focus on what you guys know and not what you do.
Okay. The second question is there evidence students are learning?
Yes, I think standards-based grading, that's the whole premise. is that if you don't see the evidence to the student's learning, then that will be reflected in your grade.
Okay. Last question is, what are the pros and cons of standard-based grading?
Pros, again, you focus on learning, not meaningless tasks.
Okay.
So it's not just do a worksheet, do this, you're focusing on the actual learning. And then with standards-based grading, typically when you have a standard you're focusing on, there's a rubric outlining specifically what you need to know about that standard. So I think breaks it down and it's a little bit more specific.
Okay, that's all the questions we have for today. Thank you. So the topic is standard-based grading. We have 2 questions for you today. Do you think it's easier with standard-based grading?
Somewhat. Pros and cons. Pros, like, you can get your grades up faster, but if you fail in one grade, it'll drop your grade down really low.
Alright. What's your answer?
Yeah, I agree with him. In one of my classes, it just brings yourself up if you have really high grades mostly, but if you have one bad grade, it'll bring you down.
Okay. That makes sense. Do you like the idea of standard-based grading?
Not really, because most of my teachers don't know how to use it.
I like it. I mean, so far it hasn't proven to be bad in any way for me.
Okay. And that's all the questions we have. So our topic today is standard-based grading. We have 2 questions for you today. Do you think it's easier with standard-based grading?
No,
Why not? Why?
because we have, I don't know, I think the grading is trash, the standard grade.
So you don't like
No,
standard-based grading at all?
no, I hate it.
Okay, that's all we have for you today. Standard-based grading. I have 2 questions for you today. Do you think it's easier with standard-based grading?
Yeah, it is. Because no one has proof going in. Like, it's just a test. And like, if I know that, then I got it, and I got an A.
Okay, what's your answer?
Yes, because you get to retake tests.
Really? No bad grades. The second question is, do you like the idea of standard-based grading?
Yeah.
Yeah? Think they should continue it? Yeah. Okay, that's all we have for today.